Hey guys, Melissa here, and well, as you see, I'm going to be doing another Alvin and the Chipmunk video, but this time I'm going to be doing a US versus UK McDonald toy figure video. And why I'm doing this is because, one, I just had the ideal for it, and two, there's some obvious difference between the two in figure quality and purposes and use of different figures here. So there's ones that I like better than the other, and I'll explain in these videos why. Some of these I may like better than the other, and some of them I may not like as much as the other ones. So first we're going to start off with the UK chipmunk. The UK chipmunks, and I point over to the US ones. We're going to start off with the US chipmunks because that's the ones that I personally got from McDonald's because I live in the US. So I know a little more about them, and I know a lot about the UK ones too, but I can explain personal experiences with these. And one, I'm going to start off with saying that these are the most common things to find. They may have went up in price on eBay, but if you're a chipmunk collector, the most likely things you have in your collection that you start off with is, of course, the McDonald toys that you usually start off with collecting, and the TYs, which is the Alvin and Chipmunks TYs that are out. And I'm not talking about the special Christmas TYs or the exclusive Alvin and Chipmunks Alvin with the really weird eyes that are made out of marbles, unlike the other ones. I'm talking about the basic TYs that you guys see all the time that have become scarce in stores now for some weird reason. But anyway, though, you usually start off with the US McDonald toys as your starting point, and if you're from the UK, you're going to start off with the McDonald's toys there and the TYs as well. Well, usually after that you go on to, either or set of these. So usually if you're a diehard chipmunk fan who loves to collect, you probably already have both of these in your collection, or at least you have thousands of the US ones. The US are more common than the UK one just because these pop up on eBay a lot more. Even me as a person searching on the UK eBay, which I do that, and the Australian eBay, these are always up somewhere on the eBay page. Or, just anywhere you can get these pretty much. And I'm sure that there's at a thrift store or in the UK, like a secondhand store, you could probably still find these even though they're from, outside of the normal country. So, yeah, the rarity on these is quite different as far as that goes. Now talking about the figure detail, the figures themselves and the US ones are not very detailed. And why I say this is they do not have an eye color. They're all just like a brown, colorless, like it's for the black of the eye, and it's made in a way to symbolize some white in the middle of the eye, but they're all brown. So Alvin's is supposed to be brown, which makes more sense. But looking at characters like Simon and Theodore and Brittany, who it's very obvious to, and Jeanette and Eleanor. Oh, sorry, just revealed something. You can see that there's clearly the fact that they have the wrong eye color. Just like there's a few other plushies that have that problem, but we're not getting into those in this video. So the eye color is a downfall of these figures. The fact that they're not posable in any way, you can't move them or shape them, but they're in little poses to be able to put on a shelf. So the positive about these is they all kind of go together that way, and you can do many different poses with these. But again, you even have like the hoodies and the outfits are fine as far as the chipmunks go, but when you get into the chipettes, you see how it's just all this one shade of purple and a pink scarf, when in the movie you have more colors that are on the outfits. And this outfit that Eleanor is wearing, she didn't even wear in the movie, so I don't know where on earth they got this from. She didn't even wear it. It was actually in a concept image for Eleanor somewhere, but she didn't wear it in the movie. And Brittany clearly would have the dark pink skirt and the blue jacket, or even the black jacket, the black denim jacket that she had in the movie. But in this case, it's just one pink color, which would be correct for the skirt, but for the rest of her, not so much. She also is missing the tie, which is obvious detail from the film. So, the Chipettes are definitely the ones that are lacking detail out of this. Even going through the, getting these from McDonald's, way back when, these were in McDonald's for the Squeakquel. The boys were more common to get. Jeanette and Eleanor were the second common to get, and Brittany was rare as ever because I tried to find these, and I actually got Jeanette and Eleanor from a friend, and then I ended up getting Brittany from a Goodwill, actually. Not these particular ones, but the original first ones I got. Of course, they've been changed out over the years for, paint damage and all that sort of thing. And just getting, better conditioned ones and then, for display. But, I still have them. They're still in my collection. They're just not displayed on my shelf. Anyway, then I want to go over the detail of the UK ones. So, there's some obvious nice detail in these. One, looking at the eyes on all of these, and if you'll notice there, and if we can just get it to focus in a little bit. Come on. Oh. You can see that he has brown eyes. So he has the eye color detail, as well as Simon, Theodore, Brittany, and it's kind of hard to see on these. This really needs to be focused in, and gotta apologize for the bad quality here. My thumb also got injured at work, so it's really hard for me to do anything with that. That's usually how I do all the zooming in and correcting the focus. This is not wanting to go, but she has blue eyes. Jeanette has blue eyes, which they should be purple, but these are clearly bright blue. So Jeanette's the only eye problem one that I've noticed. And then Eleanor has her green eyes as well. So eye detail, they're fine. They're great compared to the US one. They kind of slap them in the face and say, "Ha! We have better detail than you." But now it is cool how they have the guitars and stuff. But one, I want to point out that Simon never wore this jacket. As you can see, the zipper there in the film. And it appears to be his hoodie. As you can see, it's supposed to be his hoodie. But it has a zipper. And hoodies don't have zippers on them. So that actually wasn't a concept image, but this is not accurate to the film in that ways. I also want to point out that when you do these, one, his battery's dying. But when you do these, sometimes they don't hit the button right. Simon's fine. But when you go to Alvin, you can press down the hand as much as you want. It doesn't hit the button correct, so you have to just press it like this. And we'll go over the sounds that all these make and what they do here in a moment. But, yeah, and Alvin's pretty nice except for the fact that where you should clearly see a yellow A, it's not painted in. You can see the mold. I don't know how well you can see this on the camera. But you can see the mold right here. Where it's supposed to be a yellow A, but they didn't paint it in, so they just painted the whole thing red. Also, to point out, all the ones that make noises and sounds have replaceable batteries, whereas the US ones, so this is the UK Alvin, where you can replace the batteries. The US ones don't have a way of replacing batteries, and that's a big problem, because especially for characters and figures from the US like Alvin, the voices go out, and once they go out, they're gone. So you want to keep yours in well condition as possible. Whereas these, of course, you want to keep them in well condition, but you can change the batteries. But the batteries are also very hard to find. So that's also a big downfall about, versing these. These, the voices and the audio can last a whole longer than these as well. And the eyes are detailed. We also have some extra ones that are in the UK set, like a little drum set with Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, and a DJ turntable, which is what this toy was called. So those are extra ones. Let's go over what everything does as well. And again, going even back to design-wise, Theodore's hoodie was fine. Had nothing wrong with it design-wise. Eleanor, of course, the two different greens are not in her dress, but this is one that she wore from the Squeakquel, and this is actually the only plush that has the accurate color and the actual this dress from the Squeakquel that she's wearing. Even the TY has a lighter green color that's supposed to be representative of this, but this is the actual color you would want on a sort of plushier figure. It's just it's missing the light green. And Jeanette is wearing a dress that she did not wear. It was only in promotional concept art, so I've never seen her wearing this particular dress. And of course, you have the air with the eyes. So Jeanette's definitely the one that is the oddball out of the UK Squeakquel toys. And of course, Brittany is also wearing an outfit that was not worn in the movie. She's wearing a vest and a skirt. So these are all, again, concept images where they got these outfits from. So the Chipmunks and Chipettes, in theory, have these outfits in their closet somewhere, but just haven't worn them in a movie. Or, anywhere that you would be able to possibly see them, like in any images or anything, other than their promotional stuff. So, yeah. But anyway, let's go over what each one does and all that sort of thing. So all the US ones do the same thing. They all talk. So we'll go over what they say.
Hello, gorgeous.
Alvin says, hello, gorgeous. And again, Alvin is the first one to run out of batteries normally of the 6 of them. Just because of, I don't know why. It's just all the Alvins that I've had besides this one don't work anymore. And I'm sure that this one will run out eventually too, which is really sad to think about. They're like all the other ones normally work. Then we have Simon, who sings the McDonald's theme song, which I don't understand why they would have him sing the McDonald's theme song. I think it's cool for McDonald's, but other than that, you would feel like it would say something that Simon would say instead of singing the McDonald's theme, which was a little bit disappointing in that sense. Anyway, moving on, we have Theodore, which sounds like something Theodore would say. He says, I'm Theodore, ha 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 ha. And then we have Brittany. Now, this Brittany was actually being a little weird earlier, and the voice wasn't working, so we'll see how she works. She says, we're the Chipettes. Uh-huh. And again, it sounds like something that she would say, sort of, but I feel like they could have put a catchphrase from the actual movie, which would have been cool. Or just like a special thing for the McDonald's toys. Then we have Jeanette. She says, we're sisters, uh-huh. Fun fact, when I was a little kid, I used to think she was saying moose sisters, uh-huh. Which I have no idea what moose sisters means, but that's what I thought she was saying. So I couldn't figure out what she was saying for the longest time until I got a better figure. Or someone told me that it was, we're sisters, uh-huh, which made a lot more sense than moose sisters. Then we have Eleanor.
It's so beautiful.
And again, this is the only one, her and Alvin are the only one that, and Theodore are the only ones that say things that they say from the movie.
It's so beautiful.
Which is awesome. Eleanor says, it's so beautiful when Ian walks them into the sort of room that he had stolen, or, it was a setup room for people who are wanting to buy apartments there, and they would set up furniture as to model how it was. Well, he basically ended up taking the sign, flipping it around, and they end up breaking in there and living there. So that's where she says that on the red piano, and that would be something, Brittany could have said. But anyway, moving on. The UK ones are a little more interesting, and you kind of see what these did. You're supposed to put their arm down like this, and they play on the guitar. That's for both Alvin and Simon. But there's a little button here that you press, so sometimes they don't work. So basically, each time you press the button, he plays a different guitar vocal. Now, Simon's actually going out of batteries, so I got to change his batteries eventually. But he plays guitar noises too that are different from Alvin's. And Theodore plays the drums. He has two little buttons in the back, and you can press each of them together or apart. So to do this, and use this. So you can do. You can use some beats. He also has a picture of Theodore, of himself, in front of. There's actually two different stickers for this. So I didn't actually get the stickers for this. So it comes with stickers to decorate them. So I'm assuming there's two different ones you can choose from. I just have this one with Theodore on it. Moving on to the chipettes. Now, Brittany unfortunately doesn't have any batteries in her microphone, but I'm just going to also point out that you can take it off Brittany. So it's just a big pink microphone, and you're supposed to speak into it or sing into it, and it lights up when you talk. So that's Brittany's microphone. Brittany, the figure itself, doesn't actually do anything without the microphone. So we'll put her over there. Moving on to Jeanette. She holds this maraca. Tambourine, I'm sorry, not maraca. Tambourine. Eleanor is the one with the maraca. So it's basically just a normal tambourine. And like Brittany, it does come off Jeanette, so she is just a separate figure. And for displaying, it's usually better to have the instruments off. With Brittany and Jeanette, they seem to be okay, but you do have to lean Jeanette up to something. And of course, these came with stickers, so you could decorate them however you want. This set was a used set, so I didn't get to decorate it myself. And they would probably be in package if that was the case. Moving on to Eleanor, she has the maraca. And I must point out that putting those stickers there is a bad idea. So the problem with Eleanor and her maraca is it makes her arm weak. And she doesn't stand up with the maraca, so she always lays down. So if I want to put the maraca on her, I have to sit her up against something. It takes a while to do. But Eleanor is also a separate piece, like I said, just like like Brittany and Jeanette. And of course the maraca. You just have a little latches for all three of these little instruments on the arm. So this one there, this here for Brittany, and back here, a little place for Jeanette. Moving on to the other toys that you know, the extra toys I like to call. Besides, you know, because the UK had two more toys than the US. So, although we both got all 6 chipmunks and chipettes, yeah, the UK got 2 separate toys. So this is a chipmunk drum set, and it has Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, and you press on them. And they make different noises for the different chipmunks. And then you have the little DJ desk. Now, unfortunately, since I got this used, I don't have the little records that go on it. But it actually comes with 2 little records you can place on this. But anyway, you do this. I think it's saying D-Town. Ah, yeah. But I'm not actually sure. I've never actually... Or it's doing do-do. It's just riffing to the music. And the chipettes are just the little riffing noise. Like, you can do this. So you can just make a whole bunch of tunes with this. And the whole UK one is definitely music themed. So as far as that, and the US one was definitely talking themed. So out of both of these, I like the US figures for display purposes, but I like the UK ones for the detail in the characters. So overall, I do like the UK ones better than the US ones, just for how they were detailed, and the UK ones seem to have a lot more time put on them and effort than the US ones, since, you know, a lot of the things weren't painted correctly. But overall, I mean, they're about the same. You know, if you're a Chipmunk fan and you're starting out your collection, you definitely want to start with getting the US McDonald toys, then the UK McDonald toys, and of course the TYs for your collection, and work your way up. Usually Build-A-Bears is the second place to go. Then different books and all that sort of thing. Of course, getting the movies too, that's a big important part of it. But anyway, guys, that will conclude this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below which one you think is better. Do you prefer the US Squeakquel toys, or do you prefer the UK Squeakquel toys? And if so, why? And also, you know, if you're from the US or from the UK and you say that, you know, you can't find these, or maybe you see more UK toys in the US than you do in the US toys, or you see a lot of the US toys in the UK. Or you're from Australia or another country and you see these all the time. I know Australia has these ones too, as far as I know of. And they do have some exclusive ones from like different sets, but not for the Squeakquel as far as I know of. But anyway though, guys, that will conclude this video. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know if you guys like these sort of videos. Until next time, guys, keep on monkin'.